Going on, everyone? All right, let's just be frank. The Lakers are absolutely terrible this season. They are not off to a good start, 2-10 on the season. LeBron James is very likely going to miss several more games. Hopefully, it's not too many, but Anthony Davis, he doesn't look like his normal self out there. Although defensively, he has been fantastic. He just keeps disappearing in the second halves. Had 7 points in the second half again. Russell Westbrook has sort of invigorated his career in many ways, but he's not enough. He's great in the position and the role that he's doing, but there's not enough help around this team, right? Like Russ being the sixth man, coming in, providing, 16 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds or whatever. Like that's great. But when you have a starting unit and a starting caliber that is good enough to compete, right? Having Russ come off the bench and playing the way he's playing, man, you're probably the best team in the league if you have a starting five that can actually contribute in a reasonable way. Problem is the Lakers right now, they don't have starting caliber players. They have a lot of really good talented players, a lot of really good young players like Walker, Troy Brown. They've been great for us. Austin Reeves, young, great for us, right? But they're not supposed to be your second, third, fourth best player, right? They're supposed to be your, like Walker, for example. He's supposed to be our fourth, fifth, sixth best player, maybe even longer. And, he's a guy that can come in, grow and develop and turn into maybe a solid rotation guy at some point. But to have him have to guard the opposing team's best player every night and count on him to give us, 16 points a game like he's averaging, yeah, like that's great if he wasn't our third best player out there, right? If he was our fourth or fifth best player, look Andrew Wiggins, right? Like he's great in that role. Like that's kind of what Walker is to me. Like a guy that can play, both sides of the ball night in and night out. Some nights he could be your second or third option, but reality he's like your third or fourth option. On a super team like the Warriors, right culture, right fit, like right style. And the Lakers are just an absolute shambles right now. And if we could get some quality rotation role players, like starting caliber guys, I really think the Lakers can turn the season around. But for Rob Pelinka, look, I don't mind him not forcing a trade. I know a lot of people want Rob to do something, right? And I am of the mindset of no trade is better than a bad trade. Right now, everyone's trying to fleece us. Everyone's trying to kill us. And what's the point of doing a deal just to do a deal and we're still, eighth seed? Western Conference is absolutely stacked. And last thing you want to do is to do a trade that just kind of makes you neutral. And, maybe it makes you slightly better, but you basically mortgage the next, 3-4 years on a team that just isn't going to be able to get the job done. Like a lot of people are living and looking at the now moment and looking at like, we need to compete now. We need to do something now. But what about next season and the season after that and the season after that? I'm not talking about the picks wise, right? I don't think like Rob Pelinka has said he doesn't care about the pick. He'll trade the picks if the right deal comes along. But leading into that, what is the aftermath based on your attempt, right? Like say the Pacers deal. Like so many people think about like what can happen if the Pacers, we get Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. That doesn't solve our wing depth problem. That doesn't solve our 3-point shooting problem. It helps because, Buddy Hield is a great 3-point shooter, but we're still going to be terrible from 3-point range. We're still going to have guys playing in position that they're not supposed to be playing in position. We still won't have size on the wing to guard, especially come playoff time, stuff like that. Like, yes, Miles Turner will help a little bit on the rebounding side, but he's not an elite rebounder. He spreads the floor a little bit. Okay, cool. Could he have a big game? Sure. And a lot of people are looking at like, oh, Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, they're putting up, they scored 37 and, they're putting up 60 points collective. Yes, they're the number 1 and number 2 options on a team, and they're going from that to the number, 3, 4, maybe even deeper, 5 options on the Lakers team. So they're not going to give you that production that people think they will. People think you're going to, oh man, Miles Turner, is putting up 20 and 15 a night. He's going to come in and do the same thing. He's not. He's going to regress. Buddy Hield, same thing. He's probably going to regress. And that Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James, especially from what we've seen with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, isn't enough to get the job done. It's not enough to get the job done this season. It's probably not enough to get the job done the next few seasons because you need more than just 4 guys out there on the court. We have a lot of great guys that are on the court that could do a lot of things, but they're not supposed to be our fifth best guys, right? They're supposed to be rotation bench guys, guys that come in. That's why, like, when Walker gives us 19, it doesn't really make a difference. But if he was our fifth or sixth best player, his 19 now just adds so much more value to the overall team. But the problem is we're getting to the point now where is it even worth doing a deal, period? Or just writing the season off and just doing a deal next season or in the off season, right? Trying to put together a team, right? Like if you have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and let's say you go get Kyrie Irving, or let's say you don't get Kyrie Irving, you do like a Gary Trent and, say Miles Turner or something. Well, now you got those first round picks. Maybe you could use those plus this year's pick. Coming up, you'll have that be the Pelicans pick. Go and use that stuff and maybe go get another player to add. And now you have 5 or 6 guys, re-sign some of the guys that you have now. And now you're a better, deeper team. Problem is that, yes, you're wasting a season to LeBron, you're wasting a season to Anthony Davis, but to be fair, LeBron James and Anthony Davis clearly aren't the guys anymore. They're just not. Anthony Davis and LeBron James, even 3 years ago, was enough to get you, at least a positive record. There's no way Anthony Davis, and LeBron James 3 seasons ago, even with the team we have right now, playing the same competition. You give me LeBron James and Anthony Davis from 3 years ago, we're not 2-10. We're at least, 6-6 at the worst. Maybe I think we'd be at least over 500 because LeBron James was that good. LeBron James there's a lot of stuff that LeBron's not doing this year. Not just his shooting wise, but attacking over the pick and roll, things like that. There's so many little things that if you really are paying attention to the ins and outs of the game, LeBron's just not doing. And I don't know if that's just age and he's not able to do it. Anthony Davis completely disappearing in second halves. It's just that's even if we go and do a deal, it's not going to change the way Anthony Davis and LeBron James play. So Kyrie Irving ends up getting bought out, coming to the Lakers. I just don't know what we can do to really turn it around. And the reason I bring this up even is because if Kyrie did get bought out and he did come to the Lakers, then that opens up so much potential, right? Because with Kyrie Irving getting bought out, now you can go and you have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, and now you have Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, and, some draft picks to now go and get the pieces you need to put around Kyrie, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Now, Kyrie will make LeBron James and Anthony Davis more impactful because he can take just such a huge load and pressure. Buddy Hield and Miles Turner are not taking huge loads and pressures off of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They're just not. Miles Turner is not anywhere close to the talent that Anthony Davis is, from start to finish, just being able to do all the things that he can do. Miles Turner is a great talent, don't get me wrong. But even him going and playing the 5, yes, that takes some pressure off of Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis hasn't been knocking down shots. And if he's playing the 4 spot, guess what he needs to start doing? Knocking down shots, because he's not going to be able to play at the rim the way he is at the 5. And if he does, then what's the point of going and getting a center? Right? So he needs to start knocking down shots, which Miles Turner isn't going to fix. Buddy Hield, yes, he'll alleviate some of the 3-point shooting, but we're still atrocious shooting the 3 ball. And LeBron James is still going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. So it's not going to take pressure off of LeBron James. But a guy like Kyrie Irving he can go get his own bucket. He can go get you 30 night in and night out. He can handle the scoring load. He is young enough to do what you need him to do night in and night out, right? This is an impact player to the point where you really could change the landscape of the Lakers. Not just that, but again, you have Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, 2 first-round picks. Then now you could go and use those assets to go do another deal, right? If you could go do another deal, well, now you're perfect. Now you could go, you could go do the Spurs deal. You could go do the Pacers deal. You could go do, whatever other deals you need to do to put guys around Kyrie, LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Now you also have guys like Walker, Troy Brown, Austin Reeves, Dennis Schroeder, Thomas Bryant when he comes back. All of these guys now get to go and be the bench unit instead of having to play roles that they have to play right now. So that's why Kyrie Irving solves all the problems that comes out. But the problem is that there's no guarantee that Kyrie Irving is going to get bought out and that Kyrie Irving is going to come to the Lakers. Now, I do think very likely he gets bought out, and I do think if he gets bought out, he comes to the Lakers, but still, there's no guarantee. The Brooklyn Nets have shown several times that they are completely incompetent, have no idea what they're doing, and never do the right thing. So I don't see them. I wouldn't be shocked if they just decide to keep Kyrie and just keep getting, slapped in the face and just keep dealing with it. The real possibility. So what else do we do? Go look at other deals. Now, I do think the Spurs deal makes us better. I think the Spurs deal makes us a lot better because now you're getting, again, 3 starting caliber guys that can come in and play with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, right? Like, that's huge. You could have LeBron run point, which we won a finals with. Have Richardson, McDermott, LeBron, and I would go get Jakob Poeltl, right? Go do this deal. Go get that. Now you have, a center. Anthony Davis can play the 4. You got your sharpshooter and Doug McDermott. You got Josh Richardson, who can be your 3-and-D guy. Or if you want, you can go Walker at the 2 or the 3, and then, have Doug come off the bench. Now you have Walker. You have, Richardson. You'd have Poeltl. You'd have LeBron, and you'd have Anthony Davis. Now you have a starting 5, right? And now you're competing with other teams. Like, that can help. But to what point does it become too late? Because you got to keep in mind, Rob Pelinka can't force other teams to do a deal. And does this deal make us that much better is the question. And all these guys are free agents. Who's to say that they don't want to leave after this year? What if they don't want to be on the Lakers? What if they don't want to come to the Lakers? What if they don't want to sign long-term deals? Now you just traded for these guys and now you're stuck. Now you have nobody. You're getting, vet minimum deals all over again because, you have no assets. You have no nothing, or if only one of them wants to stay, but 2 of them want to leave. Like, let's say, Josh Richardson wants to stay. Like, yeah, that's great. So we signed him for $13 million. Like, there's pretty much all of our cap space, and then it's just, you're in a tough spot. And if it doesn't make you that much better, is it worth doing the deal again? And it's like, if we end up 2-15 through 17 games, the season's over. Like, why even do anything at all at that point? So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility for the Lakers to just do nothing this year. And unfortunately, that might be the best option, unless you can get a deal that can help you not only this season, but for the future, right? Like the Spurs deal, I really do think can help now and the future, because not only would you get these 3 guys, but you'd also get a trade exception. So you could probably use that trade exception to go get another guy, which could really help. But it's just, again, do all these guys want to stay? And what kind of contracts do they want? Because if you do that kind of deal, well, now you're at the mercy of these guys. What if Josh Richardson, Jakob Poeltl, and Doug McDermott all want $25 million deals? Are you really going to let them just walk? Or are you going to pay these guys $25? Do you remember Timothy Mozgov and Lou Aldain? That's how we got in the Timothy Mozgov and Lou Aldain situation. We overpaid for guys that weren't worth the money because the Lakers needed to do a deal. And the Lakers were desperate, and the Lakers were in trouble, and it led to us paying Lou Aldain all the way up until this past season. It's insane. It's insane. You have to look at the whole scope, or at least Rob Pelinka does. The fans are going to say whatever they want. The fans are going to say, Rob's an idiot. Rob should have done this. Rob should have done that. Rob's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And if the right deal comes to the table, I do think Rob Pelinka will take the deal. But at what point does that deal come? If that deal doesn't come till January, your season's probably already over. So why even do the deal? Unless it's just you get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and it's okay, well then, at least you got Kevin Durant for the next 3 years after this year. And, you kind of just have them rest, get right, win a couple games, whatever. but at least you know where you're going next season, right? Like, unless something like that's happening, which I don't see happening, there might not be a point to make a deal, which is a real concern, unless they can get a deal done soon. If they can get a deal done in the next, they have to get a deal done in the next, week. They really do. They have to get something done by, next week, because they got a game against the Brooklyn Nets, and then after the Nets game, they have 4 days off, which could be huge for guys to recover, like Anthony Davis, LeBron James. But in that time, they need to be getting out a deal. Because if you lose to the Nets, and then now you're 2-11, and you got a couple easy games, but you're not even beating the bad teams. So it's what else are you going to do? So if we don't get a deal done in the next week, I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers don't do a deal at all. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Think it's possible that it's too late? Do you think it's not too late yet? But, in another 5 games or so, if we're 2-15, then yeah, it is too late. You might as well not do anything. Do you think the Lakers make a deal? Do you think they don't? However you feel, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below.